Good morning, guys. Happy Monday. I hope everybody had a great weekend. Just trying to get up our slide here for our read aloud. So we are reading chapter 11 today, and you can locate this in your reader so you can follow along with me as I read. Before we get started, I just want to go over some vocab that you're going to hear in the lesson today. So if you want to turn your mirrors on. The first word is space shuttle. A manned spacecraft used for exploration. Shuttle, to go back and forth from one place to the next. Booster rocket, one of two parts of a space shuttle that helps launch into space by overcoming gravity. Especially, very much, or particularly. Unmanned, not carrying people. Okay, so that is our vocab selection for today. So once again, we're reading chapter 11. It's on page 72 in your reader. And I hope you have a cozy spot at home to listen to this read aloud. Chapter 11, the Space Shuttle. Interest in manned space exploration soared after Apollo 11. Other astronauts went to the moon, but scientists were also interested in exploring other parts of space beyond the moon. It was very expensive and took a lot of time to build and send spaceships into space. Do you remember that when Apollo 11 returned from space, it landed in sea? It was not able to land safely on the ground, so this type of spacecraft always had to land in sea. Once it landed in the sea, this kind of spacecraft could not be used again. In 1981, a reusable spacecraft called a space shuttle was built. It was able to fly up into space and then zoom back down to Earth. When it returned to Earth, the pilot was able to land the spacecraft on a runway, almost like an airplane. It glided down from space and landed on a runway, but it had to be a very long runway. The space shuttle was flown back into space again and again. It shuttled back and forth between Earth and space. That is why it's called a space shuttle. The image on the previous page shows the launch of a space shuttle. The space shuttle itself is the white part that looks like a jet plane. The other parts are booster rockets. The booster rockets helped the space shuttle get off the ground. They helped the space shuttle overcome Earth's gravity. Once the space shuttle was up into space, it dropped the booster rockets because it no longer needed them. So here we have this picture. You can see it's the space shuttle, and it's over a body of water. And then the caption says, "A space shuttle in orbit above Earth." In the 30 years between 1981 and 2011, different space shuttles carried astronauts up into space on many missions. The space shuttle was also used to bring research equipment and tools into space. The astronauts did many different experiments to find out more about space. Scientists were especially interested in learning about what effect the lack of gravity would have on humans and other living things. The space shuttle was also used to help build an amazing space station. Astronauts could live at the space station for months at a time. Often the space shuttle carried supplies back and forth from Earth to space station. It also provided a ride home to Earth when it was time for the astronauts to return. The last space shuttle mission took place in July 2011. NASA scientists and Americans were proud of everything the astronauts had accomplished in 30 years. With the end of the space shuttle missions, NASA is planning other ways to explore space. Those plans include launching unmanned probes and satellites. NASA scientists hope to learn more about the moon's gravity and are even talking about trying to explore asteroids. And then our caption here says, "A space shuttle comes in for landing." It looks very similar to a plane, I think, right? The way it's kind of landing. It's got the wheels that come out the bottom. very similar to how a plane would land, as they mentioned. So after the read aloud, your job today is to complete activity page 15.2, and Mrs. Marfilius will attach this in her post today on Google Classroom, but here it is also as a visual, so you can go and locate that in your activity book, or you can print these pages off if you don't have your activity book at home. Have a great Monday, everyone.